And there we go. All right. Sir, we are live on Facebook. Welcome to the Mailwright Show. My name is Robert Newman. I'm one of your, well, actually today my co-host Jonathan is gone, so I'm solo for you. Why don't you introduce yourself to our audience? Let us know who, let them know who you are.
So I'm Andrew Fogliato. I'm actually based out of just north of Toronto, so I'm here in Canada. And I run a digital marketing agency that focuses on real estate agents called JustSellHomes. The majority of our business is Facebook lead generation, and we're getting more and more into helping agents actually then convert those leads, since that's the biggest drop-off. Once you know how to generate leads online, it's actually quite simple.
Okay. I kind of feel like John dropped a present in my lap, because I have legitimately been wanting to talk to somebody that was a real estate specialist in the Facebook marketing space. So I'm super excited to do this podcast with you today. So I'm gonna dive right into it with a couple questions, if you don't mind.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
So I'm a big, just to give you a brief history, I've recently done an interview with Christine and Danny, who are the founders of a service called Bold Leads. And what they do is they slap a marketing page onto Facebook, and then that generates a very low quality but high quantity lead. They cast a very wide net. That net then funnels those names and telephone numbers into a lead nurturing system, which basically sends out emails, text messages. I'm a big fan of their system. I'm kind of curious to know, one, what do you think of that service in general? And if you have no opinions, what do you think of the process? And if you can, compare it to the process that you set up for your clients, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so I'm somewhat familiar with Bold Leads. We have clients who either have used them in the past, or what happens all the time with agents, they'll screenshot their competitors' ads, send it to me to get my opinion on it, and you can normally tell when it's Bold Leads. It works. It's one of those things and that's in general Facebook ads, what you mentioned, like lower quality leads but high volume. When you compare it to especially organic Google SEO style leads, they're generally lower quality. The beauty of Facebook is it's low cost per lead. We'll average, especially if we're leveraging a listing, $1 to $5 a lead. And so you can get a lot of volume off them, but then your follow-up process has to be really on point. So that's where you need that really solid funnel, including text-based, texting, emailing, calling, all of that.
Okay.
That's where it really makes the difference, because you can get all the leads you want if you're willing to put a few dollars behind it. Whether you're using Bold Leads or Prime Sellers, a company like mine, or any of the other ones that you can hire, if you don't have a good follow-up system in place, whatever we do will be irrelevant. We've had clients, we'll send them 100 leads, they get 6 deals. We've had another client, we sent 1,000 leads, they got 0. And it was all just how they followed up with them.
Okay. So in a perfect world, like the way that I view my customers at my marketing agency is I'm still small, so I try to think of myself as a partner. So when I'm talking about what they should be doing, the way that I'm thinking about it is literally what should my partner be doing for the betterment of their business? And I'm going to ask you that kind of question, which is, so you have a partner, a customer, and they're using you. Now, in a perfect world, what do they do with the leads that you provide them?
So obviously, at least just call them, because over 40% of online leads are just never contacted. If Realtor.com did a study of all the leads they generated, 40% were just never contacted at all. So first one is just contact them. But in a perfect world, so the way we're redesigning a lot of our campaigns of late is with the idea that, what if our client couldn't make outgoing calls from their phone? How would we change what we're doing? So our ideal scenario is actually they use something like Google Calendar up to date with their schedule, and we run lead gen campaigns, get people to opt in, and then on the thank you page, give them an incentive to actually book a call using something like Calendly. So we're getting the lead to book a call, but it only works if our clients keep their calendar up to date. Because we did it with one, they didn't keep their calendar up to date, and they started getting phone calls booked during the time they're supposed to be at showings. So ideal would be that. If we're going the more traditional route, which is we're just sending them leads, how do they respond? It's like speed will matter, obviously, and then a series of text and emails to get them to respond. And then, but when they're responding to them, it's about using just short, engaging questions to get them to actually just start to like talk. Because a lot of agents go too quick for the kill. Like they go really hard to like, let's meet in person, things like that. When really at the beginning, your goal is just get them to answer. So I don't know if you've heard of a guy named Dean Jackson. He's had a great script he's used that I've kind of adopted from clients, and it works well, is that first message. Like if they inquire about a house or about buying houses in general, just send a quick message that says, hey, are you looking to buy this for yourself or as an investment? And that's the entire message. It just gets people to respond and engage with you. And then once they respond and engage, now you can start having a conversation about their needs and then personalize it a little bit more.
Okay. And sorry, what was the name of the person that you mentioned?
Dean Jackson.
Dean Jackson. Never heard of him.
Yeah, he's one of the most brilliant. So he's done real estate marketing now for like 30 years. He's probably one of like the most brilliant marketers in general, not just real estate marketers I've ever met.
Okay. Is he there in Canada or is he here in the States?
So he's in Winter Haven, Florida now.
Okay.
Yeah, so he originally was from Canada, was an agent here. Then if you've heard of like Buy Referral Only with Joe Stumpf, did stuff with, he was one of the partners in that for a while. And then now on his own runs a company called GoGo Agent. And then he also does like email mastery, does workshops, and he has a really good podcast as well. And he's just one of those guys that, especially from the email marketing side, definitely worth listening to.
Okay. All right. I love the recommendation. I'm going to check them out. And if any of
get them on the show.
as I already explained, I am not the master behind that. I show up and display my brilliant.
I'll tell Jonathan to get him on.
Yeah, tell Jonathan to get him on. He sounds like he would be the guy. All right. So you've got. I wrote down a whole bunch of questions. So one of those questions is, do you have a particular tool that you use in order? So you're saying, hey, best to use a follow-up system, and you've mentioned casually that you do emails and text messages. That seems to be what I picked up from your conversation. Are you using an automated tool in order to generate the emails and the text messages?
Yep. So one of the things that's more unique about our agency versus a lot of others is we work within what an agent might have already. So depending on what they have, we might use CRMs there to exist. If we're starting from scratch, we'll usually go with Follow-Up Boss because it actually has a cool system where it'll text and email, but then the second the client responds, the automation stops. Okay. So now it's the agent who follows up. And I think that that's a mistake that a lot of agents make, is they let the automation keep going at that point when the personal touch is what will actually make the difference. So we like to automate until they respond and then turn into the human side. And then for some, and like for our own business, we use Infusionsoft, but I think that's a little heavier than most agents actually need. But like the power of Infusionsoft is next level. Okay.
All right. So if you're, let me just paraphrase back what I heard. So if you're going to use an easy agent recommended tool, you're gonna probably throw somebody into Follow-Up Boss. If you're, as an agency, you're taking on a campaign and you guys are managing it yourself, you're going to go with the tool that has more versatility and is a little bit more complex, which would be Infusionsoft. Is that what I heard?
Yeah. So like we have a platinum offering. That's where we push people to Infusionsoft. Most people we push to Follow-Up Boss. We've tried a lot of other ones, but what we like about Follow-Up Boss too is it integrates well, because that's another big thing that people have to take into account is, do the other tools they're using integrate into it? So can you integrate your MLS into it? Can you integrate whatever you're doing from like your website forms? Can they automatically go in and kick off these campaigns?
Okay. So In terms of the tools that you've looked at, have you taken a look at like Rheology and LionDesk? And I mean, there's actually too many to list if we're honest about it. Like HubSpot, I could go on and on and on and on and on in terms of automated tools. Have you taken a look at a handful before you decided on Infusionsoft and Fogliato?
Yeah, we haven't used like every single one out there, but like I was mentioning, where like we fit into our clients' business a lot of the time, what they're already doing, we just kind of set gas on it and try and get it to go even bigger. Is we've worked with a lot of different ones. And that's why we eventually settled on Follow Up Boss for a lot of agents. Is from like the integration side, it's been a lot better. So like as an example, we had a couple clients using Top Producer. And what we found is trying to integrate and like get lead ads on Facebook to like flow right into it. It might work for a week, then break. And then you're then going back and forth with support with the different companies, and then they're each blaming the other, and it becomes a giant pain in the butt. And then you get it working again and it breaks again. Whereas Follow Up Boss, we've never had that issue. So like they're, from an integration standpoint, been consistently the best.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that, by the way. That was exactly the kind of super specific piece of information that I was looking for. Part of what I oftentimes do that makes my blog so successful is I drill really deep into the specifics, because to my way of thinking, realtors have a lot of people trying to give them general advice. But when you start saying specifics, like what tool should you really use, very few people want to actually weigh in and drop an opinion.
That's because I've never used them.
Right. Thank you. This is true. I feel the same way about it, because when I do a review, I use all these tools. I'm in the process of doing CRMs right now, and I am. If I see one more real estate CRM, I swear to God, I'm gonna fucking step out in traffic. Forgive my audience. I curse like a sailor.
It's okay. I'm from French. From Canada. You were just speaking French. That's all.
Brilliant. Okay, so all right, we do all this. So also, we're at $1 a lead. You know what? I'm going to do something a little bit different here, if you don't mind. Do you have any problem if I talk about the pricing of your services? Is that something you're willing to speak about online?
Go for it. It's all open on my site. I'll talk about whatever.
No, I've got your site open on the other page here. So your prices seem to range between $400 a month for your fee and $2,500 a month. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the $425 one, which is the bronze package, we barely really offer. That was more like to appease a couple of people. We wanted to like kind of test this out, but to be honest, we discourage people from getting that one. Most people start on the silver. Like I think out of all of our clients, we only have 2 on the bronze. It's not something we focus on or push at all. So silver is by far our most popular. And then we're actually right now, the platinum that's on there, the $2,500 a month, we're not currently selling it. We're revamping it to include a few different things and change a bit about it. So I'm hoping we're going through a pilot with like 3-4 agents that's in the middle of being set up. And we're going to relaunch like the full new platinum in probably January.
Okay. So this is the fee to hire you, plus you need a monthly spend. So typically speaking, if I'm looking at the lowest tier plan, it's looking like you're gonna have a conversation with somebody that says that they need $1,200 to $1,500 a month. Is that at kind of at the low end? Is that about right?
We'd recommend minimum investment once you add our fee and ad spend to be about $1,250 a month.
Okay. So if we can, one of my favorite topics to talk to marketers about, one of the ways that I operate my own agency, is I like to talk a lot about ROI. Because it really doesn't matter what you spend if you're getting an ROI. The problem with real estate marketing, as I'm sure you've run across yourself, is that out of every 100 offers, 90 will take your money and not give you a result inside the real estate space. A space I've lived in, by the way, for 11 years, so I say that from experience. You know, it's my number one objection is I've used, and that, you know, people list off 10 companies and they're usually 8 or 9 of them, they got nothing, and I mean nothing back from whatever they spent. So give me, if you can, run a quick case study by me. Give me an agent or a broker that used you. What did they spend and what did they make? If you don't mind sharing.
So if you look at the bottom of the page, also there's one for an individual listing campaign where people can actually just send us a listing one at a time. That's a service more for people to test us. We don't really make a lot of money on that.
Okay.
Or really any, or I don't make any, like my team, obviously, like that's more just to pay for them to do it. So we had one client, for example, he spent 1,100 through that program, he's made 21,000. And then we've had others, like for instance, my third client ever, her name is Heather Beauchesne. She's up in Barrie, Ontario. When we started working with her, and we're the only real marketing she does, she was doing about 30 deals a year, and she was on a team. Now she started her own team, doing about 55, has a full-time admin and another buyer agent on their team as well. So we were the only marketing she does. And there's a lot of other ones like that, like I was mentioned before, the one client, like we did some listing campaigns for him. First 100 leads, he got 6 deals out of. Now, of those 6 deals, 3 were one guy. So it's not quite converting 6 people on 100 leads. But a lot of that. When we can calculate it, it's about, on average, 5 to 8 times ROI. Normally, the big range is that agents are terrible at following up with leads, which is why we're revamping our Platinum package to take that out. It's trying to take as much out of the agent's hands as possible from a conversion standpoint, because I can send 100 leads to one agent, 100 leads to another, and one will get 4, 5, 6 deals, the other will get 0, and there's no difference besides how they're following up. So it's hard to measure specific. Our goal is a minimum 5 times return in the first year. Our aim is really to get actually about 10 or higher, but we're aiming for at least 5 to like make up for that fact that there's a lot of agents who are just absolutely terrible at converting leads. And then one of the things we do is we know online leads aren't for everyone. So there's no long-term commitment. It's just you give us 30 days notice when you want out, and we'll drop it out because we know it's not going to work. Like if we have someone come in, their business has been 98% referral for 30 years, the odds of them chasing online leads and having success is really small. So what we'll often do is be like, we'll test them with a couple campaigns, see how they like, but we're not going to make them commit for a year if we don't think it's going to be a good fit.
Okay. So let's talk about something that you just said for a second. Like you're talking about, and I know this, but I want our audience to know it. So I would like to hear from another voice. So you're talking about an online lead versus somebody who's done referral marketing for 30 years is what you just said. Yeah. And they're not going to chase an online lead. Would you do me a favor and explain to our audience what the difference is between, let's say, a referral, like how would you pursue a referral versus how would you pursue an online lead? Because a lot of our clients, they don't know. Like the people that listen to the show, they don't know.
Yeah. So like the biggest issue, like especially if you work by referral, is how warm those are and how high the conversion rate is. I mean, I know a woman who converts 60% of all the referrals she gets, no problem. Like, and she kills it. But a lot of the time, because she comes so highly recommended, she basically just picks up the phone and says, "Hey, this is Marion. What time do you want to meet so we can list your house?" Like that's the extent of her prospecting, and it works. Now, when you go to the online lead route, I mean, the average agent is in the 1 to 2% conversion rate, which means if you're making 100 phone calls, you're getting 1 or 2. Like, and that's appointments, and then it's up to you how you convert the appointment. But the majority, and even the good agents, are at 5 or 6%, and that takes a year or 2 to get to. So even at 5 or 6%, which is a good one, that means 95 calls you're making out of the 100 leads are not going anywhere. And that's where the online lead side is so much different, is there's a lot of work that ultimately leads nowhere, but you're just searching for those few in there that make it worth it.
Right. Okay. So for our audience, I just wanted to get Andrew's weigh in here. But guys, being a digital marketer in today's age is the same as saying that you're going to be an inside salesperson for at least 50% of your career. What that means is you've got your desk, a phone, a computer, and if you're going to do something where you're getting 100 contacts, you're going to have a system in place where you can call many, if not all of those contacts to get the best possible result from your high volume lead generation. Would you agree with that, Andrew?
Yeah. Now, we are working on ways to get away from that because there are strategies you can do. So, for instance, one of the ones that we're working on and has had some success, partially depends on the agent and how they can let us set up the offer. But as an example, there's a marketer, brilliant guy. He'll spend $100,000 a day on Facebook ads. His name's Nicholas Kuzmich. And I learned the general idea of the principle from him, which is what we call the Godfather offer. So we'll have an initial lead magnet. So like a popular one we've used is a guide on how to prepare your home for sale. So someone downloads this guide on how to prepare their home for sale. And then we take them to the thank you page. But the thank you page is where 90% of marketers screw up, because all they do is say thank you. But this is an opportunity to take it further. You've only generated this lead that has, on average, a 1% to 2% conversion rate. Let's take this opportunity to further market to them. So what we do, and the reason it's called the Godfather offer, is you're trying to make them an offer they can't refuse and identify those looking to move soon. So we might say something, and this is where it varies a lot based on the agent, what they're willing to offer. Be like, if you book a call with us in the next 72 hours, we'll send cleaners to your house, we'll send someone to clean out your gutters, we'll send someone to clean the windows, we'll offer full staging, and then some will even offer like $1,500 cash back on close if you book that call with us in the next 72 hours. Anyone who's now on the fence about hiring them but is thinking about moving soon takes up that offer. So we might only get a 1% conversion on that page, but the ones who do convert, that's like a referral quality lead that comes through. So it's low volume, but you're getting pretty high ROI on it. So it's that Godfather offer on that second page, straight to booking a call with the agent.
Okay, and you've trial marketed this and had some success with it?
Yeah. So again, the numbers are really low in terms of like volume, because like you might get 100 leads on the 100 leads come through on the initial, like say the guide to prepare your home for sale. And then out of those 100 leads, maybe one will opt in, but that one, which you're still marketing to the other 99 leads that came through, that one is going to be really strong. So you're not talking huge volume, but those ones that do come through in that group, that's about as good a lead as you can get online.
Okay. All right. I agree with you, by the way. I just want to hear what your opinions are. As you know, as a marketer, like the things that we do that actually make ourselves money and our clients money is actually case studies, testing. That's how I've
exactly.
It's our job to use all those fancy pieces of language that our clients don't understand, like multivariate testing and blah blah blah. Anyway, all that stuff. Well, John is going to kill me because I completely forgot the break. So we're not going to have a break today, guys. Woo! All right.
Yeah, just going for it.
I am going to say though. I'm going to say, wow.
Yeah, that was on my end.
We are going to take the 30-minute break though, which we're a couple minutes ahead of. So we'll be right back. And then after the break, guys, we're going to give you, if you're okay with it, Andrew, I'd like to maybe give our audience maybe 5 or 10 minutes worth of bonus content.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yep.
And break. Okay, welcome back to the Mailwright Show. I am here with my amazing guest, Andrew Fogliato. Did I say that right?
Fogliato.
Okay, I'm not going to.
Fogliato, yeah. Don't worry, my wife got it wrong for 2 years.
I'm here with Andrew. He is he owns a marketing agency in Canada that specializes in Facebook marketing. We've been having a lovely conversation about how he generates leads for his clients off Facebook. Now, that is the stuff that talks about you as an agency. For the bonus content, for those handful of people that waded through, what I'd like to talk to you about is obviously you've got a little offer that somebody can come to your website for, and it's for $250. You can basically have a professional marketing team market a listing, and that's something that you offer. But let's pretend that somebody is an individual agent. They don't want to hire an agency. They're scared for whatever reason, but they do want to try Facebook marketing. What would you recommend?
Yeah. So can you repeat that? It just cut out for that half second, that last sentence you said.
Okay, I'd say, so if somebody was attempting to do their own Facebook marketing without the help of an agency, what would you recommend?
So hold on, let me just pull up a link. I'll send it to you and you can share it out. So like the listing template that we do, we actually just give it out for free.
Okay.
So listing ad template. So here we go. I'll send it in the chat. You can put it out to the audience if you want. But basically, like, we give away the template. We're very happy to do that. But what we do is we will say, actually, I should make sure that's the right link. But what we do is for listings, for example, which is the easiest win you can get anyone. Because listings, it's so easy to get leads. So what we do is we use a Facebook lead ad, which eliminates the need for a landing page, because what we find is most people's websites don't convert well on listing pages especially. So we do a Facebook lead ad, so they click on the ad, pops up the form pre-filled in with their contact information. It's basically forced registration on the Facebook side, and they go to their website. And then the ad itself, the way we structure it, we use a single image, not a video.
Okay.
And the main reason we do that is we get more leads. So when we use an image instead of a video, we average $1 to $5 a lead. That the variance in there is just how nice the listing is normally. So $1 to $5 a lead. If we use a video instead, we're at about $4 to $8 a lead. So it's not that it's huge, but that can be a big swing in the amount of leads you're getting on an individual listing.
Doing videos instead of images.
Right.
Okay.
So, but the branding side of a video is great. So like some clients, what we'll do with a listing is we'll do a 1 mile radius around the listing itself with a video ad, which is more to like show the other potential neighbors thinking of selling, hey, look at the great quality videos they do marketing a home. And then we do a wider ad to get buyers with an image. And then we just put enough information to entice someone. So we'll put like, what are the top selling features of the home? And then to get more information, see more photos, click on the ad, name, email, phone number, and they come through and become a lead. So it's the lowest quality lead you're going to get that way, but the volume makes up for it.
Okay. All right. And in your opinion, I feel like I've heard you say that you feel like doing the volume is the best idea for an agent. Is that right? What do you?
Yeah. I like to get volume because then we can use other tools that we have to then narrow. So like email marketing is a very underrated thing that agents don't do enough or do it well. And if you build a big list up by getting the volume of the leads, you can let your email do them. So like the guy I mentioned earlier, Dean Jackson, he's got some great ideas around email marketing, which, I mean, I've basically swiped and deployed a lot of his ideas in our email marketing. One of them is it's called the super signature. So I'm sure like you deal with enough agents, you see all the time oh, by the way, I'm never too busy for your referrals signature. We replace that with the Dean Jackson super signature, so it's like your name, at the end of the email, it says, when you're ready, here's a few ways we can help you. And then it might be number 1, click here to get a home eval. Number 2, we might already have a buyer for your home. Just reply to this email describing your home, and we'll let you know if it matches someone we already have. And then number 3 might be something like, and this again varies from agent to agent. One of the examples Dean gives would be, we go and see homes every Tuesday at 3 p.m. If you'd like to join our tour, click here. But it's essentially making it as easy as possible, because that, oh, by the way, I'm never too busy for your referral. The problem with that, there's no instructions on how to send that referral, what kind of referral they want, or anything like that. It's just a standard statement. But that here's a few ways I can help you, and then direct instructions on what to do. It's not in your face, it's always there, but then people know exactly what they can do to help you as much as possible. So having that appended to the end of every email, and then just emailing as much as you can. And like we have clients that, we recommend at least a weekly email, but like there's some agents I know who do daily, like Monday to Friday, and kill it. But it's all about, like, I would say once a week an email. And in that email, all I would send is a list of the properties that came on the market in the last week. But you add the agent's insight to it and be like, the agent gets on video and be like, of these 30 markets that came on home last week, here's the 3 of them that I think are the best deals and why. Because any agent can send out a list of homes. They want the insight as to which ones are the good ones.
Any opinions on sending those emails with like a BombBomb video or just a link to a YouTube video? Do you think there's a difference?
There is a difference. I mean, I think BombBomb, if you're willing to invest in it, is a better way to send it. You get more analytics. They have some things tested. It works really well. I mean, if you're budget conscious, you could easily just YouTube video and then embed the photo of the screenshot into the email and have them click on that and go to YouTube. So for the budget conscious, it was kind of like a hack around using something like BombBomb. Personally, I think BombBomb's great, and if you're willing to invest in it and embrace it, then it can be worth it.
Okay. All right. So for those listeners, I'm going to summarize up that last tip. It's 1, cast a very wide net. 2, send out some emails. 3, make sure that you take a few minutes to study what might separate your emails from somebody else. I love everything that Andrew has said. I agree with it. I love the signature. I love the actionable stuff. I'm going to add one thing, which is if you are going to develop what's called a landing page. In other words, if you decide to direct your users someplace, I'm going to steal a page off of one of our previous guests and say social proof, social proof, social proof, which is people on video talking about you as an agent and their experience buying a home. That's the only addition or swerve that I would make to everything that we just talked about.
One we like to do with that, if an agent has video testimonials, retarget website traffic and all the leads with a Facebook ad with videos of their clients talking about them. And then retarget the video views of that video with a book a call. So anyone who watches the full customer testimonial, they get retargeted with an ad to book a call with the agent.
Now let me ask you a question. The users, the clients that you've had that have had that content, how does that campaign work versus other Facebook campaigns?
It works pretty well now. So it works well from a cost per lead standpoint. So like we can get calls booked sometimes for under $15 a call. The trick or the problem is it's really low volume. So your frequency is going to be high. You don't want it running all the time. Like even just for my own business, I do that, but I have to either turn the ad off every few weeks and so I can like wait for a new group to come in, or I have to set my retargeting buckets, which I think is a little too confusing for most agents, to only show to people who are new to my content in the last 21 days. Because if I have it go too much past that, people get annoyed with the amount of times they're seeing this book a call ad. So if you know how to control the frequency that it's being seen by people, otherwise if you don't, just turn it off every now and then.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So it's not something you can have going indefinitely.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, we are at the end of we're winding down to the end of the extra 10 minutes, and I think that we did a fairly decent job of giving some bonus content. So if somebody wanted to reach you, how would be your preferred way for somebody to get in touch with you or your agency?
Either you go to JustSellHomes.com, which is our website, and we also run a Facebook group called The Wheelhouse. So Wheelhouse is 2 words, and that's, we share tips and tricks and engage with people. And every time we have questions, I'll actually jump on to 2, 3, 4 video answer. And then there's like a big library of all the answers we've ever given to questions that people ask. So it's no holds barred type of thing. Like we'll literally answer anything. I'm very happy to give away everything we do. I want the clients who don't have the time to do it. I don't care about withholding what we do.
I am a big fan, which by the way is basically Inbound Marketing 101, which is it's what I'm evangelical about. The name of my company is Inbound Real Estate Marketing, so that's how evangelical I am about it. So I love all of that, and I'm assuming that the Wheelhouse, this group, it's free to enter, free to join.
Yep.
You're not charging anything for it.
Right, and it will always remain free. We are in the midst of planning a paid group that will be separate from it, but there'll be reasons of like we're giving away a lot of stuff on a regular basis. Like we'll be giving them ad copy, images, and entire campaigns for them to take and deploy. Like we'll be doing a lot of other things. So there will eventually be a paid group, but the Wheelhouse will always be free.
Okay. And if anybody should be so inclined that doesn't already know me, and I think most of you do, but my name is Robert Newman. I have a little website called Inbound REM, which answers most, if not all, of your deep, burning marketing questions. What I do really well, and I'm unique in, is that I deep dive into reviewing technology platforms and give you the advice that you need platform by platform. So, thanks for joining me, Andrew. I'm going to ask that you stay on board for one more second as I take us offline.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
It was a real pleasure.